Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danielle and I'm the owner of Damn Fancy Creations and the Drunk Flamingo Glitter. If you guys are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that all of my groups and links are posted in the description below in case you guys want to check them out. Today's tutorial is day 1 of my 12 Days of Christmas video series, and I am so excited to get this kicked off. If y'all are not part of my Damn Fancy Creations tutorial group on Facebook, head there now because each of my 12 Days of Christmas tutorials will have a giveaway associated with it. Everything you see posted here will be covered in today's tutorial, but as always, if you guys have questions about materials that I used or a step that I covered, please feel free to ask in the comment section and I will come back and answer them. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get started on this tutorial and I hope you guys enjoy. If y'all didn't know, I will be teaching a 2-day class at next year's TUMBLERCON. I am so excited. I cannot wait to meet you guys next year. If y'all are thinking about going, there is a link in the description as well as a discount code for our class. I hope to see y'all there. Okay, y'all, so before we get started on the actual tumbler, I'm going to show you guys how I remove the bottom of all of my tumblers. If you guys did not know, the majority of the Steel Magnolias tumblers have this little cap on the bottom that you can remove and discard. This is just a cap that covers the bottom. This does not affect the integrity of the tumbler, but it gives us the ability to do fun things on the bottom, such as glitter butts, rhinestoning, shaker bottoms, or the snow globe. So once we get the bottom cap removed, we can take our cup and spray paint it. I like to use a flat matte Rust-Oleum. And now we're going to apply our leopard print and pinstripes. I decided to print out 2 different colored reds, 2 different colored greens, and a silver. I cut the exact same leopard spots out in all 4 colors. That way I can layer them easily. So I just took a silver and then I laid a red directly on top of that. And when I'm applying these spots, I am just kind of looking at my tumbler and kind of spacing out the colors. I don't want one whole section to be all red spots and then another to be all green or all silver. So I'm just trying to get a good mix of each color. And I'm just going to do this around the entire cup. And you can definitely just apply the leopard spots with your fingers if you want to, but I found these tweezers super easy to apply them with. I could just easily pick them up and place them where I want to. And I'm just going to do this around the entire tumbler. And I try to apply the little smaller pieces in between the larger pieces just to fill some of the blank space. And some of them I layered with 2 colors, some of them I layered with 3 colors. And all of these vinyl colors were from my local vinyl shop, PerfectPress HTV, which is formerly JSI Signs. They're located in Norcross, Georgia. So if you guys are local to the area, definitely check them out. They have the best prices and really good selection. A lot of their colors are not labeled in store, so I just grabbed them off the shelf. But they do have a website, and you guys can probably kind of tell what colors I use. I know that this green and red that I'm using are their ultra glitter vinyl, and the other colors are just their regular sticky vinyl, but I don't know the exact colors because, like I said, they're not labeled in store. Sometimes they have the textured vinyl in store, sometimes they don't. So this may either be from them or the Cricut brand. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit more. It is pretty much the same exact thing all the way around the cup. We're just layering different colors of the same shape of leopard print. So I'm just picking off from one sheet, going to the next. And some of them I'm overlapping a little bit more than others. Some are really overlapped, some are barely overlapped, so you get a little bit more of each color. And like I mentioned before, I'm just trying to keep a good mix of all of the colors as I make my way around the cup. So if I think one area needs a little bit more green, then I'll just add a green spot on top. Same thing for red, same thing for silver. I am also putting some of the leopard print on the curve of the cup because my stripes are going to start right underneath the curve. So I don't want just a funny little blank space beneath the leopard spots. I want to make sure that it all looks cohesive. And the same thing for the top. I didn't want the top of the tumbler just to be blank and no spots. So I added leopard print to the top half, but then I cut it so it looked like the leopard print would continue if the cup was taller, if that makes sense. I didn't want such a straight cutoff line. So I'm just layering these two spots, and then I will go back with my blade and I'm just going to cut it off. And we're just going to do that in a couple more spaces around the tumbler. Sometimes it was hard to find the same spot on each sheet of paper. And once you're happy with your spots, we are going to move those sheets out of the way and we're going to get started on our pinstripes. And for me, I just eyeball all of my pinstripes. If you are somebody who has to have them straight, if you know that your OCD is going to drive you crazy if they're not 100% straight, then you can line it up with a pencil, with your tape measure, a ruler, whatever. But I just use my first stripe as my guide, and then I just start wrapping vinyl pieces around my tumbler and just get them as straight as I can. And I just decided to use a mix of a sparkly holographic black, a plain black, and the silver. And we are just wrapping them around. I am not really concerned with the distance between each stripes. I kind of liked the look of some stripes being close to each other and then some stripes being further apart. And as I was making this cup, I just loved how it looked. But my husband always says I have too many tumblers. But he didn't say anything about stripping cups and making new ones. So I ended up stripping one of my first cups I made for myself and doing this pattern on it. So now I have a new fun leopard print Christmas cup that I love. And after you apply your vinyl, if you want to seal it, you can definitely seal it. I did not seal mine. I felt confident enough that my vinyl was not going to move. I did let it sit overnight as well, so it did have good adhesion. Sometimes I do seal it. It just depends on how I feel. And I did decide to add one little skinny one in between that space up top. So once I get finished with my pinstripes, I'm going to take my edging tool that I get from Cami Page Boutique. We do have a discount code in the description below. And we're just going to trim off that vinyl edge. And then we will be ready to epoxy this cup. I am adding a little bit of Ocean Breeze Vodka Cocktail, which is a ultra fine glitter. I like to add it to my cups that I want a little bit of sparkle to. And once we have all that mixed up, we're going to apply it to our cup. And I'm using Artistry's 1-to-1 Fast Set. It is my favorite epoxy that I have used. I always get the best finish with it, very minimal bubbles. I do keep a dehumidifier in my garage. That is the best thing I have purchased for this epoxy. Some epoxies are a little temperamental in humid weather. Ever since I added my dehumidifier, I have gotten flawless results every time. No tacky finish. I rarely get bubbles. We do have a discount code for Artistry also in the description if you guys want to try it. So I am just removing any excess epoxy that could get caught in the curve of the tumbler. And then I am wiping from about middle to the top to get rid of any more excess epoxy, smooth things out just a little bit. And then we're going to hit it with our torch. And when using the torch on metallic vinyl, you do have to be a little careful, because if you heat that metallic vinyl too much, it could cause it to curl up and lift under epoxy. So I am just very sparing with my torch. I usually torch for about 1 full rotation, which is about 14 seconds. And then we should be good. So once this layer of epoxy has cured, I'm going to go around the edge with our edging tool again. I like to soften my epoxy a little bit with hot water. so it makes it easier for that edging tool to cut through that layer of epoxy. And then we're going to apply our decal. This is a decal that I created. It is available on thedrunkflamingo.com. I thought it would be really cute to layer it with 2 different colors. I just used the same glittered vinyl that I used for my leopard spots. And then we're going to use the decal tool, line up our transfer tape so we know that this decal is straight. Then we're just going to decide where we want it on our tumbler. And then once that decal is on, we can remove the decal tool, make sure everything looks straight, and we're just going to smooth it on. This is part of the Ultimate Guide Tumbler tool from Cami Page Boutique. Now that we have our decal on, if you would like to seal it, you can seal it. If not, we're just going to put another 2 layers of epoxy on this tumbler, and then we will be ready to do our glittered bottom. So our tumbler is completely finished except for the bottom. I always do the bottoms last. We are mixing up about 15 mils of epoxy. I know that the exterior cavity typically takes about 5 mils. The interior cavity takes about 10. It just depends on what size tumbler you're using, but that is a good guide. And once we get our epoxy mixed up, again, we're just using Artistry's Fast Set. We're going to mix our first glitter color in there. For the white, we're going to be using Coconut Snowball Martini, which is my favorite fine white that I have. And once we fill the interior cavity, we're going to mix a little green in, and we're going to fill that exterior cavity. And once these 2 cavities are filled, I will pop the bubbles with my torch. And once these 2 layers of epoxy, or 2 cavities of epoxy, have cured, I'm going to go back with a clear layer of epoxy. This way, the bottom of our tumbler will have the same slick, shiny feel that the rest of our tumbler will have. And once that clear layer of epoxy has dried, your tumbler will be complete. So here are some finished pictures of this cup. I love how it turned out. I think it is just a super fun, super simple Christmas tumbler. And I hope you guys enjoyed the first day of Christmas tutorial out of our 12 Days of Christmas series. Thanks for watching. If y'all enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, or tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group or my mentorship group. Both are linked in the description. Thanks for watching.